Hello.
Hi.
We are Nicole and Ed.
From New Jersey.
Well, we used to be from New Jersey, and now we live on the road.
Sold our house.
Everything in the house. I moved into a school bus. We are a couple in our 30s. We've been married for almost 6 years now. And we have our adopted border collie mix, Harley. Aww. And the three of us travel around the lower 48 states. We work on the road. I am a mental health therapist. Since COVID, I've been able to do Zoom sessions. So that's how I work on the road, is I do Zoom sessions with parents, teens, sometimes younger kids.
I trade online. As long as we have an internet connection, I can take care of all my stocks.
It also helps that we sold our house for like almost twice what we paid for it. So we also have that to kind of play around with in case there's like a slow month or whatever. So that does help too.
Like the back end stuff, we have no debt. We have nothing that we have to pay a monthly subscription to. We had at one point over $118,000 worth of debt. Cars, student loans, and credit cards. Basically, we got out of debt. We gazelled really hard. We thank Dave Ramsey.
And I think what helped us is getting out of debt. So when we did sell the house, it was like we didn't have to use that money to pay off any other debts besides the house.
Right. It was all liquid. So it just went right in our little bank account here, and that's our cash.
We sold our house in June, and we've been full-time since then. So since then, we started in New Jersey, and we've kind of done all the states that are east of the Mississippi. A trip to the southeast, a trip to New England, Midwest, and then we went back down to Florida this past winter. So now we are currently in Texas. We are planning to go west and see all the western states, and we're planning to head north from here. We're meeting up with my parents and my brother in Colorado because my brother lives in Colorado. We plan on doing all the northern states in the summer and all the southern states in the winter to try to keep that 70-degree weather always with us. Big plan is to hit every state in the lower 48, maybe do Alaska one day, maybe do Mexico, but definitely the lower 48, and we want to try to hit every national park.
We're most excited about hitting Yellowstone, Bryce Canyon, all the in Utah.
Checking off all those bucket list destinations.
A 28-foot Thomas-built 99 International with the DT466E motor. The bus took about 5 to 6 months to build. We had to do it in our driveway in New Jersey for the freezing winter. It got down to about 15, 16. And,
Snow.
About 153 square feet. Not much, but we make the best of it. We got a nice big galley kitchen, full-size shower and bath, 100 gallons of water on board, 50-gallon black water tank, and a 25-gallon gray water tank. 1,000 watts of solar on the roof, and it's more than enough to power our 5,000-watt inverter.
Well.
Here we go.
So I think it started that we were raised to do the success order. You graduate college, you get a good job, you get married, you buy a house, you have kids, you live happily ever after. So we did that. So we met in college. We both graduated. We both got jobs. I was working. I'm traveling an hour each way and then a half hour in between my sessions, and there'd be traffic. So then I would come home, I'd do softball pitching lessons, and I wouldn't get home until like 9, 10 o'clock sometimes.
We would barely see each other. I would be coming in and she'd be going back out.
He would wake up, crack of dawn.
Be out all day.
And he'd do lessons. He'd be home around like dinner time, but then I wouldn't be there. So we didn't see each other a lot during the week. We were in that hustle. Oh, we got to chase the dollar. You got to be successful.
You end up working so hard because it's your business and it's your baby. I was working harder for my boss. Me. I'm kind of glad to be past that now. Living life out on the road.
Next on the list, get married. It was easy. I don't regret that at all.
Not at all.
But okay, check. Buy a house. All right. That's next on our list. We bought a house. We lived in Brick, New Jersey. We had a almost 2,200 square foot bi-level house.
It's a nice big, like almost a half acre of property with a nice in-ground pool.
We had 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. Good. Got the house. Now let's fill these bedrooms with kids. That's where our success order and our plans kind of derailed.
We started going through fertility treatments.
It wasn't happening. Like, we were trying for a couple months.
Several months.
Yeah.
We sought help, and basically they told us it's not gonna happen.
At least not naturally. I'd have to do IVF, and even that might not even work.
Right.
So we're like, all right, can we do other things? Like, we started eating, well, we were always eating healthy, but we ate more healthy and cut out coffee, tried to de-stress. I tried to do yoga, meditation, like all this stuff. You had a whole career change.
I did. So it was too much to keep driving 4 hours at least every day. So I was commuting to the city doing fire protection for commercial buildings. It was a lot.
It was physically demanding. You had to drive a lot.
Basically, to try to de-stress, I needed to figure out what else can I do. My general contractor's license, I opened a business. We were successful for a few years. Eventually, I hurt my back. It never healed.
There's a lot of other things that happened too. So when he hurt his back, all the stress of trying to conceive for me personally triggered a lot of health issues. When they were doing all the blood work, checking all my hormones, they found out I had a thyroid issue. And then a few months later, I found out I had colitis. So I started having symptoms of that. And it's just like, I think just the stress of not being able to conceive just kind of put my body into whack. I had a shot of hormones at one point. I think that didn't help. And I think it just kind of put me into a depression. Just everything going on.
It really took its toll on both of us.
Yeah.
We withstood the test, but it really did try us.
Towards the end of it, our dog, Cody, we found out he had cancer, and he had like 6 weeks to live without treatment and maybe 6 months with treatment. I was dealing with that too, bringing him to chemo, watching him kind of suffer a little bit. He wound up dying early. He was only 9 years old. So it felt like one thing after another. All this like negative stuff happening to us.
With all that negativity, we were able to adopt Harley.
And Cody got his diagnosis
About a month before Cody did pass. Get Harley, and she's been our light ever since.
We had to walk into the empty bedrooms and see that they're empty and they're not filled with kids yet.
Like a constant reminder.
Yeah.
And we really didn't need that. Just so much negativity all around us that we just needed to kind of de-stress and get rid of it.
So also around this time, we were watching documentaries about people traveling. Actually saw a documentary on Netflix, Expedition Happiness. And that was about a couple that bought a Skoolie and just traveled the country. It was kind of always like a dream that would never happen. That'll be cool one day. And we kind of just kept coming back and forth to it. Like, let's do it now. Let's be real. We can't do that.
We always had an excuse not to buy an RV or not to spring ahead and get that school bus and start converting it. We toyed with the idea for about 2 years before we bought the bus. One night I was looking on Gov Deals, and it was the right bus with the right engine, the right size, the year, everything was pretty spot on.
What I think made the bus perfect is we have like a 7-window bus, so it's kind of like a mid-size. We looked into like vans, and we thought it was too small. We were looking at the big ones. It's like 40
Way
feet.
too big.
It's like 11 to 13 windows. We're like, that's too big. So when this one came up, it was kind of like the perfect size. Kind of meant to be. We're very spiritual, and we try to go with our gut instinct and look for signs. We believe our loved ones are looking down on us and helping guide us, and this just felt right, and it was like kind of like a gut feeling. And
so with all the bad things that were happening, things like the bus fell in line. Things had to happen in a certain order, and they kind of fell into place once we had the bus. We kept getting confirmations that we're moving in the right direction, we're making the right choices.
And it felt like there's less hurdles doing this than trying to conceive. So we wanted to be smart about it. We didn't want to just sell everything and jump into a bus. We wound up doing a 48-day trial run. Ed had finished the bus all by himself.
I had it about 80% done when we did our trial run.
Went down to Alabama, Atlanta, Baton Rouge, Gulf Coast.
To the Keys.
Yep, and came all the way back up. We're like 80% like, yeah, we want to move into a school bus, but we just wanted to be sure.
We wanted that confirmation.
We were driving back north up the coast to home, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to go back.
We
I don't
were
want to go
dreading that.
back. So that was kind of, I'd said, a confirmation that we're doing the right thing. The simple answer to why we did this, I think, just in a nutshell, we wanted something different. We had tried the rat race with the success order. You know, we did what we were supposed to do, and it led to kind of like a dead end for us. I think we needed something different to bust us out of that mold, bring us out of that depression. Just felt so beat down by life. Turning that hourglass upside down and just shake things up, and ever since we've been so much happier, less stressed, a lot more grateful.
I think our life has more meaning and purpose in traveling.
I don't think we have too many fears. I feel like we trusted our gut, and this is like the right path for us.
I think what we were alluding to before is that spirituality, our guardians, they've really done a good job in helping us. I think the guidance is the biggest part, is that we're doing the right thing. Is a lot easier than doing the rat race, kind of going uphill. You're always fighting an uphill battle. And here, at least, we're able to still support ourselves and see this beautiful country.
If I had to pick, I think maybe our only fear is like breaking down really bad, it being really expensive to fix or something.
But I
even
think
then,
we've already had that.
Yeah.
We've had the turbo blow. We've spent $3,500 for a turbo that cost more than the bus.
Yeah.
I think the worst has happened, but we can still get through that and keep on moving.
One of our hopes is that we can continue to travel, and I think I hope just to continue to enjoy life and traveling.
With each other.
Oh yeah. Couldn't do it without each other. We've
We
learned
haven't
that.
gotten sick of each other yet.
What are your hopes?
I hope to do this for a few more years, maybe do a different mode of traveling after this. Traveling will always be a backbone of what we want to do together.
After living this lifestyle, we went our whole lives planning our future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you always had to have an answer. Now it's like, all right, I have the next year or two planned. We're going to go here, this state, that state. But what are you going to do after that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, we really don't know. And it's kind of refreshing not to know.
For once in our life, it's not scary to not know.
Yeah. Broke us out of that mold of like, you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're going to do. And we don't want that. So I guess our hopes are just do whatever we feel like it. And if we want to live in the bus longer, then fine. If we want to stop sooner, fine. Kind of like open-ended.
This bus is called Expedition Freedom for a reason.
Yep. Want to kind of tell our story and hopefully inspire somebody else to go out and live their dream, and don't ever be afraid of doing something out of the norm. And just because it's not common or what you're supposed to do, don't be afraid to do it. Just live your life. And I think, especially after the pandemic, it's like tomorrow's not guaranteed, so do it now.
100%.